If you're thinking about making the move to Kona, Hawaii, here's a few things that I wish I would have known before I moved over. I really believe anyone can carve out a happy life here in Kona, Hawaii, but a little bit of look before you leap will just make your transition that much smoother. Aloha everyone, Todd here with Refocus Realty and LivingInKona.com. I've been selling real estate in the Kona area for more than 20 years. So if you have any questions about real estate, please feel free to put them in the comments below, book a call with us, or contact me directly at the information in the description below. Now let's get to it. The first thing I wish I would have known before I moved to Hawaii is that living in Kona and vacationing in Kona are two completely different things. Before I moved to the Aloha state, I kind of viewed Hawaii through vacation goggles. You know, when you're on vacation, you're relaxed, you finally have time to unwind, and so it's hard not to see Hawaii in any other way other than an exotic, Mai Tai, palm tree, beach-filled place. But the truth is that living in Hawaii is just like living anywhere else. You still have to get up and go to work, unless you're retired of course, take care of the kids, go grocery shopping, watch your budget, etc., etc. However, I'd take a bad day in Kona over a good day anywhere else, anytime. The second thing I wish I would have known before I moved to Hawaii is that Hawaii is a very expensive place to live. I mean, let's face it, paradise is expensive. And once you find a place to live, which is on par with some of the more expensive cities in the mainland and about double everywhere else, you still have to eat. And even staple foods are very expensive. A gallon of milk is about 4 times more than it is on the mainland. A loaf of bread is about 2 to 3 times more. And locally grown bananas are still twice as expensive as they are on the mainland. And let's not talk about medical costs. In some cases, they can be up to 65% higher than they are on the mainland. Why, you may ask? Well, that's because about 85 to 90% of our food and consumer goods are all imported. Kona and the rest of the state are about 2,500 miles from the next nearest continent. So you learn to be more resourceful, grow some of your own fruits and veggies, fish, maybe even hunt for your own food. If you're not already, Hawaii will teach you to be thrifty, upcycle, recycle, and in general be a more self-sustaining person. The third thing I wish I would have known before I moved to Hawaii is about island time. One of the biggest complaints I hear from people who visit or people who have just moved here is that everything takes longer in Hawaii. Life in Hawaii goes by its own rules, and if you're going to live in Hawaii, you have to play by those rules. And island time always wins. When I first started living in Kona, it drove me crazy that everything from a meeting to a visit to the grocery store seemed to take longer and go slower. I was that uptight guy getting all bent out of shape about someone being 5 minutes late, or rolling my eyes that people had stopped to talk to each other in the aisles, or waiting in line 10 minutes to buy my overpriced loaf of bread. All of this caused me way more stress than it was worth, and it really took me a while to wind down and start to appreciate my time. Most people in Kona still want to stop and talk story and engage with their community in a way that's been lost in most of the US mainland. I moved to Kona to live in Hawaii, and living in Hawaii means living on island time. If you're enjoying this content and want to know more about what it takes to live in Kona and on the Big Island of Hawaii, please feel free to leave a comment or contact me directly at the information in the description below. The fourth thing I wish I would have known about before I moved to Hawaii is the coconut wireless. The Hawaiian concept of the coconut wireless is better than a cell phone. It's the fastest, wireless, easiest way for news to get around the island. The Hawaiian culture and society are built on a long-standing oral tradition of passing down lessons and news and stories by storytelling. So for example, if someone says, hey, did you hear Keola went to the Kona side of the Big Island? And someone says, oh yeah, heard it on the coconut wireless. It means that that person had already heard that news from someone else. But a word of caution, be careful who you say what to, when, and where. And the final thing I wish I would have known before I moved to Kona, Hawaii is the lack of activities and entertainment. Kona is a laid-back former plantation and cattle town, so things tend to wind down pretty early here. You're not going to find the glitzy nightclubs or the restaurants and bars that are open till the wee hours of the morning. That doesn't mean that Kona is devoid of all night. Kona does have a good number of nightlife hotspots that have great food, drinks, and even live music. There's a couple microbreweries and a couple of sports bars. But if you're someone who likes pro sporting events, different concert every night, live theater, Kona might not be the place for you. Well, those are a few things I wish I would have known before I moved to Kona, Hawaii. And while knowing those things may have made my time in the beginning a little bit easier, the lessons I've learned and the people that I've met along the way have made my love for Kona just that much deeper. Well, I really hope that you got some value out of this video, and if you did, give us a thumbs up. We appreciate the support, and check out some of our other videos. If you're looking to buy or sell real estate in Kona or anywhere on the Big Island of Hawaii, please feel free to reach out to me at the information in the description below, or check out livinginkona.com to see all the latest listings here on the Big Island of Hawaii. Aloha and mahalo for watching.